Okay, it's getting late, but I think I can do one more. So this video and the one before this are going to upload much later. So right now, part 6 and 7 are uploading to YouTube. I think 6 just finished. 7 is, this is why I hate going over an hour, but it's already failed to upload twice. So hoping that the third time's a charm. Then we have part 8 and 9. This is part 9 right now that you're watching, or it should be. So let's go ahead and get a few more turns in. Get in maybe another hour. Then it's time for some sleep. So our situation is I think we at least knocked the leader down, so the leader's not winning. But next is our next threat is Gandhi himself and the Indian Congress. They're actually pretty close to winning as well. And then the revolutionaries are actually close, so we need to get rid of their unrest markers. Oh, and we did. We got rid of 4 points of unrest markers. So that actually helped us knock them down too. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do a sanity check. Unrest population plus bases should be 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So they should be at 10. I probably forgot to give them points at some point along the way. Next is Muslim oppose plus 2 times the state population. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They should be at 10. I have them at 9. I'm looking. No, they should be at 10. So we're going to move them up one more. So they're both at 10. And then the total oppose, I have at 17. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. They should be at 20. So they're way up there. So good thing we're adding it all up. Well, let's do ours while we're at it. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17. I have 19. So let's add this up again. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh my gosh, we're even worse than we thought we were. So we're down to 17. Okay, so I'm sure some of you are putting comments in and you forgot to do this, you forgot. We're now rebaselined. So hopefully it won't be bad anymore. Okay, so they get to go. And let's draw the next card and see what that's going to be. So the next card for, this will be for us when we get to take a turn. Right now, myself and Muslim will be eligible next turn. So we would be first to go, assuming that both of them take a turn this turn. Arrest Gandhi and all activists in his space. Release Gandhi and all activists from jail. Gandhi and activists to anyone's space, remainder to available. Okay, so that's not a super good that's not a great one. I think I forgot to do first base is free when we did the assault, and so I'm going to give myself $2 back. So we're up to 21. Okay. Now, let's go. So this is their card. Green goes first. It's a critical event. They're doing green does not go first. Orange goes first. Let's figure out what they're going to do. It's not a critical event. So is the current event critical and effective? No. Next eligible could choose critical event. Yes. They're going to do op only. This is an interesting one. They're going to screw black out of doing an event. So this is the first time in this game you see them go to the first top level. And the reason they're doing it is you can see here that black will not get to choose the event. And this event would help them. They would add an unrest marker to 2 Muslim spaces and then remove a base from those spaces. So, Orange is going to go up there. They're going to do what's called a operation only, and no special activity. It's not a limited operation, which is good, but it's just the operation. Now, one thing. I know I mentioned Pendragon a lot, but I actually like this game more than Pendragon for this reason. Pendragon always cheated. The AI always got to do a full operation plus special activity no matter what route you took. So I like the fact that these ones follow the rules a bit more. Okay, so any space is eligible for non-cooperation. Well, we got to look up what non-cooperation means. Non-cooperation is spaces with protest and Congress activists, and, unless during crisis, no Raj control. Are there any protest markers out there that have no Raj control? Yes, right there in Bihar. So the answer is yes. Any protest space without activists? Also a yes. Although it's a different space. But that is true. There are some. There should be 4 protest markers out there. I see one there that has no activists. One in the city that actually has no activists. Bihar, yeah, and province. Yeah, those are the 4. Yeah, so definitely a yes. Select one special activity. Satyagraha to move Gandhi. Then... if unrest, remove unrest and any protest. Okay. So, Satyagraha, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, happens on any one space. First, move Gandhi to any space. Release from jail if Raj agrees. Then, in the space with Gandhi, either remove one unrest marker and any protest marker, or place a Congress activist. Okay, so I think we get to figure out where the Congress, where he would go, because it says if Raj agrees to release from jail. So this is an interesting one. We get to choose whether or not we agree. I think the AI has a rule on whether or not they choose whether or not they agree, but so we're going to move Gandhi, not at active opposition. So chances are he's going to go to United Provinces. He wants to go to Tupop with Raj control and where there's unrest, which would definitely be the United Provinces. So if we let him go there, he'll remove the unrest marker, because that's what this is saying. Remove unrest and any protest, and then add an activist. Yeah, we're going to let him leave jail. So he's going to go here, and he's going to remove the protest marker and the unrest marker, which helps us. So the protest marker goes there, the unrest marker goes off, and with the unrest marker disappearing, that's 2 less points for the revolutionaries. So that's why I like that. And then he does get an activist. But since the protest marker is gone, it's just face down. And then he's going to do non-cooperation. Select all protest spaces with Congress activists and no Raj control. That would be one space. The Bihar space. That's the only one we don't have control where there's a protest. Okay, so then he's going to do a non-cooperation, which is first shift each space one level towards active opposition, then shift restraint -1. So this goes to active opposition, which is 2 more points. So they're now winning. And then restraint drops to 1. Okay, well, that means everything's going to be cheap for us to do. So now we're going to do a revolutionary turn, and they have to do a limited operation, which is interesting. But let's see if they even do it. Active faction will be first eligible on upcoming critical event. That's not true. First eligible chose Ops plus SA and events effective. No. Will be first eligible in the upcoming card. The answer is yes, they will. So they're going to pass. And so that's going to cause the Muslims to not get a turn. So this is going to go here, these two are going to go here, and all 3 of us will be eligible. And you can see here that this goes away, and he would be first eligible in the next card. So this is the one where you can arrest Gandhi and all activists in his space, shift unity down. Not real big fan. That's going to move us towards crisis, which I don't think helps us. The Kakori train robbery. Okay. In up to 3 spaces, activate 1 gorilla for every cube. Then remove up to 5 active gorillas from those spaces. That's actually pretty cool. In up to 3 spaces with gorillas, free attack. Then flip all gorillas in the selected spaces underground. I'm assuming free attack is one of their actions. We just haven't seen it. Yep, attack is one of their actions. Okay. All right, so black is first. So let's figure out what they want to do. Current event, critical and effective. Nope. Next eligible could choose critical event. Nope. Will be first eligible on upcoming critical event. Nope. They're going to do Ops plus SA. So let's do that. And 6+ gorillas in India, definitely. Special activity, there's no crisis, so they're going to infiltrate to replace 1 adversary. So let's look at infiltrate. Infiltrate happens in 1 space with an underground gorilla, and they're going to replace an adversary. So which one would they do? So we're going to go to where it says remove or replace. It's going to be the place with the most gorillas, which is here. That one has 5. And remove an adversary is a sepoy, an activist, or a protest marker. Flip activists. Oh, that's if you take away the protest marker. So sepoy or activist. Okay, I have to figure out if activist means this one is not face up anymore. The protest marker is gone. So does activist mean, and we have a detailed explanation on every action. So let me just take a few minutes and find that. I'm looking at the wrong rule book. Okay. So what's this called? Infiltrate. Okay, so in the example they give, they even even have a picture. See that activist being removed? It's inactive. So you could remove an inactive activist. If it just says activist, it doesn't matter whether it's active or inactive. Okay, so they get to replace that adversary. So they're going to replace them. And so we're going to put that back in their box. And they're going to put in their own guy. So we got a lot of gorillas all of a sudden in that space. Okay. Die roll less than available gorillas. Normally we don't roll, but look, there's only one gorilla left. So unless I roll 1, which I didn't, the answer is no. So then it says flip the card. So we're going to flip the card. Any underground gorillas where no unrest? Yes, that is true. So they're going to do unrest. Select spaces using place unrest. There's only one place that has so activate an underground gorilla, shift 1 level towards neutral, and add 1 unrest marker. Then shift restraint. Okay, so here you're going to see they're going to become this becomes active. They're going to put an unrest marker in East Bengal, and then it shifts towards neutral. So this oppose times 1 goes away. So all kinds of stuff is happening there. So first of all, the Muslims lose 2 points. The Indians lose 2 points because it's a 2-pot place and they lost the opposition. And then an unrest marker goes there, so they gain 2 points. Okay? All right. There's only 1 space eligible for that. And so there's no need to roll a die to see if they get to continue. Actually, the restraint is 1, so that means they can only do 1 time anyways. So that's fine. And they're done. So they go to ineligible, and everybody else is eligible. Card goes away. This is the current card. The new one is we're going to get to go first on the new one. Montague Declaration affirms imperial rule. Shift restraint -2, and remove up to 2 protest and or unrest markers. Okay. Shift restraint +2 and add 1. Okay, that's the other side. All right, so we got the train robbery. We could get screwed out of an action here because green is passed, so they get to go first now. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do the full action because the current event is not critical for them. Next eligible is not critical. Next eligible would mean, is it critical for them? That's what they're asking. Will it be first eligible on upcoming critical event? It's not a critical event for them, so they're going to do ops plus SA. Okay, and then it would jump to orange, and just real quick, active faction will be first eligible on upcoming critical event. That's not true. It will be first eligible on the upcoming card. That is true. But is this effective for them? That would be the next question. They would do the top one. Activate 1 gorilla for every cube, then remove up to 5. Is removing gorillas. Let's see, removing support, unrest, Muslim state adversary pieces. That is effective for NP Congress. Okay, they are going to do the event. All right, but let's do green first. Okay, so nonviolent activists equal or exceed cubes in any spaces without protest. without protest. They do equal in one space. East Bengal. There's 4 nonviolent activists, there's 4 cubes. And it says equal or exceed without protest. In Bihar, they have more, but there's protest there. So the answer is yes. So they're going to do negotiate to place a Muslim state. Ah, that's why. Okay. They're getting their Muslim state back. That is actually a very smart move on their part. Okay. Location, one space with Muslim League activists and no Raj control. And it's not selected for operations. Okay? That's the rule. To place a Muslim state, if the Muslim opposition province where Muslim League pieces exceed Congress pieces, set the space to passive support and place a Muslim. First, remove any protest marker from the space. Shift restraint +1. Okay, so let's do that. So all protest markers are removed. There aren't any. Shift. What's interesting is it says they have more than Congress, not more than cubes. So let's figure out where exactly they're going to do this. So which province are they going to do it in? A Muslim space, no base, 2 pop, fewest cubes. Random. There's 4 cubes in both of these, so we're going to go ahead and... Now obviously they get to do an active oppose, so this one actually would be more valuable to them. So I'm not going to roll. I'm actually going to... and I think this might go into our other rule. See, placing bases is lower priority than shift to oppose. So they're going to prioritize East Bengal. So I think the rules actually tell you exactly which one to use. You just got to think enough to look at that. Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to remove protest marker, shift restraint +1. So the restraint goes back up to 2. And then they're going to place a base. Base. All right, so that goes here. And what that does for them is that gives them 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they get to put active opposition of 1, which gives them 2 more points. And then it gives Congress 2 points. So that was a lot of points scored. Okay, so that was just the first half of their action. Are there any available protest markers? Yes. So now they're going to do civil disobedience. And if Raj is the player from the space with 3 or more, get 1 activist onto a railway, which actually might happen this time. So place a protest, not an active opposition. A Muslim space, 2 pop. Fewest cubes. And Raj is player most support. Well, the top priority is not active opposition. So it's not going to be a railroad situation. The only Muslim places that are not active opposition are, well, this already has a protest. That's one, right? And we have control. The other ones are here, there, and there. Oh, and then here. So because we have control, Obviously, 2-pop is one of the tiebreakers, but none of them are 2-pop. So the protest marker is going to go here in the city and then flip over. All right, that was relatively harmless. So then we said that we already figured out that Gandhi is going to do the train robbery. In up to 3 spaces, activate 1 gorilla for every cube, then remove up to 5 total from those spaces. And then we're talking gorillas here. So they're going to pick spaces, of course, that the gorillas and the cubes coexist, which good news is we don't have to do any algorithm to figure it out because there's only 2 spaces where that's true. The first space being here, where there's 4 cubes, we would flip this over and then remove it. And then here there's 4 cubes, and then we would remove all 4. So all the gorillas got removed from East Bengal and West Bengal. So it removed the adversary. That's the reason why this was attractive to them, but it didn't do anything score-wise for anybody. So that's an interesting play. Maybe we'll see how that pays off for them. This goes here, and then we have these eligible. And as a reminder, we're going to get to go first. We can shift the restraint -2, remove 2 protest and or unrest markers. The protest doesn't do much for us. I mean, obviously it would give us control in places where we would need control. But the unrest markers will actually hurt black a lot. The problem is black's fine, or they're not really winning at the moment. So let's look at the next card. And you can see here it's critical for black, and they might actually pass. That's an interesting one. See, this is critical for them, and then this one is also critical for them. You can see shift restraint +2 and add 1 protest. Add 1 unrest marker to 2 spaces with Raj control. In any 1 space, remove up to 3 underground gorillas are all active. Okay. It's our turn. We need to hurt Congress. Congress, of course, can only be hurt if we can get the opposition to go down and support to go up. Now, that, of course, if you remember, is the imperialism action. And for us, that is the govern action. If you look at everything else, we have garrison, which moves cubes and activates a gorilla. The whole point of activating a gorilla is just that it allows you to remove them later, right? Because now you know they're there. Here, this is placing cubes on the board. We only have 1 cube to place. We do get to take 2 cubes from out of play to available, which, to be quite honest, I think I forgot to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. This was like the very first turn of the game that I forgot to do this. But anyways, they're there now. I haven't done a deploy since, so no worries. Okay, garrison just lets me put stuff out. Sweep is like garrison, except this lets me go into places that I don't have control. But I can't go into protest spaces. I think that's the reason why removing protest spaces helps me, is because I can't really move cubes into places otherwise. But I think I have plenty of areas where I want to do govern. Now, govern, as you can see, is max 2 spaces, and we want to do this to get imperialism for up to 2 levels. The martial law does let me remove an activist and for every cube and remove protest. But I would add an unrest marker, which hurts. And it shifts the space 1 level towards neutral. So it actually removes opposition, it removes protest, it removes an activist. It does help the revolutionaries, though. So the martial law is a bit, it'll help them a little. And it's funny because if you play a 2-player game, you're supposed to play the Raj with the guerrillas. And so this is like one of those ways you can actually help yourself if you're playing both sides. And then the treaty, of course, is to move species into a state, which the Muslim state, right? And so we don't have any Muslim states at the moment. In fact, all we have are the princely states. And so I think I want to do an assault. Remove one active piece for every 2 cubes. There's not a lot of active pieces out there. In fact, there's none. So maybe I can do something else then. I would probably maybe do deploy. You know what though? I do have active pieces. I'm going to do assault. Remove or arrest adversary forces. Resources equal to restraint if there's sepoys. Remove one active piece for every cube. And the reason I'm doing that is because I can actually do it here in Calcutta. So I can put him in jail, right? And then over here in Karachi, I can put him in jail. So there's 2 spaces. That would cost me 4 resources to do. I would love to do Bihar, but I don't have any troops there. It'd be nice to get some troops into Bihar, but I don't have any. I could arrest Gandhi. If I do, the restraint goes to -1, and then they get to put more protest markers out. So I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm going to leave that be. And it's fine. I just put 2 Muslims away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like so. But now, for 3 each, I can do imperialism, and I can do up to 2 levels. So that would be 6 each, right? 3 for the first level, 3 for the second. I can do this in 2 places. So I'm going to spend 12, and I'm down to 5. So now I could really use those events that give me money, huh? Okay, so I'm down to 5, and what I want to do is I want to get some support going for me, and then of course I want to take support away from them. So which is better? Well, Congress is winning right now, so I need to take support away from them. And the Muslims are close to winning, so I'm going to choose West Bengal and Punjab. And we're going to just get rid of the ×2 active oppose in both places. And so that just got rid of 4 points for both of them. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So they both went down. Now, it didn't help me, but it did help me by taking them down. So we're playing defense right now, and of course, we're not getting to play offense, and that's some of the problem. But I think we're going to get some offense in, because since we're in control and I now have cubes of both types in some of these places, I am going to get some points for myself. Now, East and West Bengal are only sepoys, so all I'm doing is just messing with the Muslims there. But I think in a few other places I am going to start to gain some control. And I can, by the way, you know what I could have done? I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to put these back. 1, 2. We're not going to do assault. Instead, we're going to do sweep. Resources equal to restraint for each space where sepoys sweep. Troops alone are free. So I'm going to give myself $4 back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to deploy these. 1, 2. Like that. And I'm going to do another one here. Okay? And I think you understand why. It's because we learned our lesson, right? And we need to have both types of troops. These are no longer Muslim states. So that means we get to take control. And in fact, I've been not doing that. So by adding what I just added, I now have control here and here. There's only one active piece in this whole region. So this gives me 4 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that does help me a lot. So my apologies there for not realizing that. Now, I obviously can't get control. This is a princely state. There is no control for me to get there. But in these other places, yes, I was able to get control. And in fact, I could have put a troop. Like if I wanted to, I could put one of those troops there and then move another one from somewhere else. So for example, this one here, because the troops are free to move around. So I'm going to move this one here, and now I have control over that region as well, because I'm equal to the active. So that gives me 2 more. And that was still free for me to do. So I hope that made sense. I know I'm doing a little bit of retconning here. The biggest one being is I forgot to put 2. When we did deploy here, it says then if desired, move 2 cubes from out of play to available. That's how those 2 cubes got added. And that was the very first thing I did way back in round 1 or whatever. And then I had done an assault, but then I changed my mind. I switched it to sweep. And sweep is I can move to any city, province, or state. If I move only troops, which are the red cubes, it's free. And that's why you see me doing what I'm doing. I can move cubes that are not in protest spaces. So one thing that I made a mistake is I moved a cube from here, and I can't do that because that's a protest space. Oh, but I could, for example, I screwed up again, didn't I? A deploy only goes to cities. So 1, 2, 3. These can't go anywhere. I have to do a deploy. I can't. A sweep is only for stuff that's already on the board. So where did this one come from? Boy, am I being dumb today. I think it was in the United Provinces. So a sweep, I could only move troops from other places. And it can't be in a protest space. So I want to move these red cubes here, but there's a protest space that's blocking me. That's actually hurting me from doing what I want to do. And then Calcutta, same problem. That's a protest space. I can still do what I want to do. I just got to be a little bit more creative. Like, for example, I can still move one from the United Provinces. That's not a problem. I want to move these. I can't. Bombay, I can still move one and get it into East Bengal, which gives me the control, right? So that restores that. And then it was a question of, can I go into Bihar and get control of that? And the answer is yes, but I have to use white cubes. And so I'm going to take 2 from Punjab and move them in. Now that costs me money, so I have to spend 2 to do that. All right, so I would love to get a red cube there, but where would I take the red cube from? I can't take it from anywhere that has a protest space, so that's my problem. But for now, taking control is still good enough. So I go ahead and do that, and now we're done. Okay. So sorry about making that complicated. And we did a full action. So now it's their turn. So active faction will be first eligible in upcoming critical event and cannot execute any current critical event. The answer is no. So they will be first eligible in the next critical event, but they have a current critical event they can do. So the event is effective. So they're going to do the event. So the event for them is shift restraint +2 and add 1 protest or 1 unrest marker to any 2 spaces with friendly pieces. So restraint is going to go up 1, 2, and then they want to add unrest to friendly pieces. They only have 2 locations on the board that even have friendly pieces. And protest is on one of them. So all they're going to get to do is add 1 protest marker. And you know what? That doesn't help them. The 1 unrest marker would be awesome, but they already have them. So this event's not helpful to them. So they're not doing the event. They're going to pass because they want to do the next event. So that's what they're going to do. All right, so we go to ineligible, and now there's 3 of them up there. This is the card they're going to want to do, and then this is the next card, which is remove 4 gorillas from any spaces, and 2 spaces with no Raj control, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's the next one. So now it's their turn, and it's a critical event. Let's make sure it's effective. Add 1 unrest marker to 2 spaces with Raj control, and then a gorilla. Yes, 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 yes. That's definitely effective for them. So let's do that. And unrest, what is their priority? No unrest, of course. 2 pop, of course. Most gorillas, not possible. And then where the Raj player has the most support. So let's see if that narrows us down to 2 locations. Okay, so this is 2 pop. That's 1. This is 2 pop for 2. That one already has an unrest marker. Okay, I don't think there's any other 2 pop places. Well, actually, there's 1 more here. So there's actually 3 choices. So let's keep going. It just says random space after that, or most gorillas. No unrest, 2 pop. All right, so there's 3 places. So black will be the left. 4-6. 4-6 is Central Province. So that would be 5-1, 5-2. Bombay gets 1. We already did that one. So let's roll. 4-1. 4, 6. And then it goes to 6-1, 2, 4. Madras already has 1. Then it goes to 1-1. Punjab already has 1. All those. And then 2-1. United Provinces gets the next one. And the West Bengal. So it's exactly how we did it. Okay, that is 4 points for them. 4. So that helps them a lot. And then they add a gorilla to each space. So gorilla there and a gorilla there. Done. All right, so next up would be us, but we're not eligible, so then it's orange. So let's figure out what orange is going to do. Active faction will be first eligible on the upcoming critical event and cannot execute. Not critical. The event is not available. Will be first eligible in the upcoming card. That is true, actually. So they're going to pass. And so then the Muslim League is up. Not critical. Can't happen. Not happening. They can't do chose up only or first eligible. Chose ops plus S. Yep. Otherwise, ops plus SA. And yeah, that's actually what they get to do. So they get to do a full action. This is actually really good for the Muslim League. Any Muslim spaces eligible for non-cooperation. What's non-cooperation for them? It says spaces with protest, Muslim League activists, and a Muslim League base, plus spaces with protest and Muslim League activists up to unity, each with no Raj control. That's the part where we hammered them down. We have Raj control everywhere. So they don't have... They can get a protest marker in East and West Bengal. They can actually cause a lot of problems. But right now, none of that's eligible to them. So these ones, by the way, are active. Not that it made a difference. So we're going to draw another card. Negotiate would place a Muslim state. Now that's an interesting one because negotiate doesn't care about cubes. One space with Muslim League activists and no Raj control. Not true anymore because we went in and took control. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So there is nowhere on the board where there's an activist that we don't have control right now. There's plenty of places for them to do this, but they just don't have activists there. So we're going to draw another card. Any available protest markers? The answer is yes. There's 2 available. Any Muslim League activists in spaces without protest? Yes. Civil disobedience. They're going to select spaces using place protests. So let's see what that means to them. Not at active opposition, top priority. And they get to do it with unity, which is 3 spaces they're going to get to do this in. So not active opposition, Muslim space, 2 pop, fewest cubes. And if the Raj player, most support. All right, well, 2 pop places, there's 3 of them. They all have Raj support, but this one has opposition. So they're going to put a protest here and in Punjab. So that's going to flip, that flips him over. We still stay in control. And then we got this one here, which flips 3 of them over. But we stay in control. Okay? So that's civil disobedience for them. So then they're going to do a special activity, negotiate to place a Muslim state, which they can't do. There's no crisis. Infiltrate to replace an adversary, that they can do. And an adversary for them is an unrest marker. Believe it or not, that's the top adversary. So let's see here. When it says remove or replace, they want to do it where there's the most, in a Muslim space, where there is protest and Raj control. Okay, that's all true. 2 pop. And where Congress is greater than or equal to Muslim League. That's not true anywhere. Well, actually, nope, not true anywhere. And actually, that's not even true for the, I'm looking in the wrong, this is what we want, is that right there. So the dots stop after 2 pop. So and let's just make sure. Infiltrate removes 1, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so they get to replace 1, and it's going to be a protest marker for them. It's not going to be an unrest. It's, well, hold on. Yeah, just remove 1 adversary, right? So for them, an adversary is a protest marker. So it's either Punjab or this. And they're all two-pop, they're all Raj controlled, they're all protests, Muslim spaces. Okay, so then we're going to just roll. Black is left. So 1-6 puts us in Punjab, exactly. So they're going to replace this protest marker with an activist, but then the activists go inactive again. So 2 down. All right, so sorry about that, but hopefully that makes sense. These two are going to go over, and then we're eligible. So we know that orange is going to go first. That's why they passed, but then we're going to get a crack at our turn. And then guess what we just drew, though? So it's a campaign. So we don't even get to go. Dang it. So we know for a fact those are going to reset. And we do a victory check, and thankfully no one's winning. We were able to bust everybody down, and you can see the Muslim League was 1 point away, so maybe we should just do a recheck. Muslim League, 2. Sorry, not Muslim League, the Revolutionaries. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. That's exactly what they have. They need 15 to win. Holy cow, did we get lucky. Total oppose. 2, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Why do I have them at 18? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's what I have them at, is 15. Total oppose, 15. I think that's right. So we had them up way too high. All right, so let's do the Muslims. 2. The base doesn't do anything for them. 2. Holy cow, why do I have them up at so high of points? Oh no, here's one more. 3. They're at 3, and that's it. I think I forgot to take points away whenever I scored points. So this 10 drops all the way down to 3. That's all they have is 3 points. We knocked them down hard. Okay, and then us. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's exactly where we are. Okay, so I don't know how I keep missing their scores and adjusting it, but anyways, it's very helpful to do this from time to time, like right now. So victory check, nobody won, not even us. We're not even close. You can see there, the revolutionaries are 1 point away. The Congress is actually semi-close, and we destroyed the Muslim League, which was our goal. I keep forgetting you don't pay for the first base, so I'm sure I paid for the sepoys to do that move. I'm giving myself 2 more again. I know all this retconning sucks, but I'm fairly certain I get to keep that too. Okay, so let's grab the campaign round. First of all, here's our new guy. Sweep costs 1 resource for each space where a sepoys sweep. and their activation number during sweep is 1. Which means they only get to do it once. If it's AI. Okay, so victory did not happen. Place strike markers on railways. Sorry, let me get this up. And then, of course, my camera. This is why I don't use this camera. 1 second. I don't know. You may have got to see my chin when you're doing that. Let's make room here. Okay. Place strike markers on railways either with protest or with more activist cubes that are adjacent to cities with no Raj control. All cities have Raj control, so no worries there. We're going to get our full 40 resources. There's only one person in jail. It's a Congress activist, so we're going to get 38 buckaroos. So 38 plus 9, 47. So we're back up in business. Okay, revolutionaries, we skipped that one. Imperialism, and up to 4 cities and provinces with Raj control. Troops and sepoys, remember that. Every 3 Raj resources spent removes one unrest marker, or once no unrest, shifts 1 level towards active support up to 2 levels. Then for each space selected, release 2 activists. Okay, so the up to 2 levels thing all of a sudden made me pause. Are they just trying to say that you can only go 2 levels and then you can't go any higher? Because if that's the case, that really annoys me, because I think the up to 2 levels means you get to do it twice. That's the whole point of this. Yeah, up to 2 levels. Because you could be at times 2 opposition, and 2 levels just takes you to neutral. So, yeah. It says every 3 resources spent removes 1 unrest marker, or once no unrest, shifts 1 level towards active support, and they say you can do up to 2 levels. So you can spend an additional 3 resources to do another level, is what it's trying to say. And so it says buy imperialism for up to 2 levels. So I'm going to assume you're either, if you remove the unrest marker, that's it. If the unrest marker is not there, then you get to truly get 2 levels. Okay, so let's do this. We're actually going to get some awesome results here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we get to pick 4 spaces, right? So it's going to be we have a lot of spaces to choose from because there's unrest everywhere. So we're going to do Punjab for 1, this for 2, United Provinces for 3, and then West Bengal for 4. Okay. The problem is that for 3 of them, all I'm doing is removing unrest markers. That's it. That's all I get to do. That does, however, take them down by 6 points. 6. Then for the 4th one, there is no unrest. So we can spend, first of all, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's for the 3 unrest markers. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to do support times 2. So it's going to give me 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're finally getting some points. But that was brutal because, see, there were unrest markers everywhere, so we couldn't actually increase support anywhere. And then this one would have just gotten rid of an unrest marker, and that's it. I mean, the active oppose would have just been neutral. So we have so much work to do. But we did it. And next. Oh, the activists get removed from jail, so that one activist is going to go into their available pool. Okay, constructive program. Congress, then, the Muslim League may shift a combined total of cities and provinces up to unity with their own pieces and no Raj control. Shift each space up to 2 levels. Now, this is the part where they hurt me last time, but this time around, I don't think they're going to have much to do. So we, for example, select spaces using shift to opposition, but it's only in places where they have pieces and there's no Raj control. And as you can see, we have Raj control anywhere they are located. We did not let them have anything. The revolutionaries do have control here, or have pieces here. But unfortunately for them, they're already fully maxed out on opposition. So, well, actually, it's Muslim League and Raj. I'm sorry, it's Muslim League and Congress. So these guys don't count yet. So, yeah, there's nothing. We have control everywhere that they exist. You know, if they would have just moved to the one-pop provinces, they'd have all kinds of crap. But, you know, obviously the AI is going for the big cheese. Okay, so next, the Pakistan movement. The Muslim League may place a base in any one non-railway space with no Raj control. So they're going to place a base in a place with no Raj control. Well, that means it's going to be one of the one-pop places, and they don't get points for bases, just so you know, but bases do count for other things. So obviously they want it to be a Muslim space, has no base already, a 2-pop, which there aren't any, fewest cubes, which is all of them, and then it's just random. So we're going to do random. 2, 1. So for the 2, 1 is Punjab, United Provinces, 4, 5, right here, Assam. So they're going to get a base here, which isn't, I mean, now they have pieces there. So they can start getting opposition control and all that other stuff, right? Because when you're doing this part here, Muslim League may shift a combined total of cities and provinces up to unity with their own pieces. See that? By having a base now in Assam, unless I remove that base, they're not going to be able to put opposition in there next turn, next campaign. And that'll help them. So, okay. Revolutionaries may place a base in any one non-railway space with no Raj control. And let's just place a base. So where do they want to place a base? And remember, it has to be no Raj control. So what do they want to do it in? Most guerrillas, fewest cubes. Well, that's not possible. Well, actually, no, it is. Right here. They already have a base there, but they don't care. So they can get another base, because the population is 2, so it can support 2 bases. So this is going to go here, and that actually gives them 2 points, because they get points for their bases. And since they have 2 of them there, they get 2 more points. So that Madras presidency is well within their grasp. Okay, what's next? Game end, not happening. Viceroy, replace the current British Viceroy. We did that. Raj, we can move troops to railways, provinces, etc. In and may move sepoys to any states. Then Raj must play 2 resources for each troop remaining in a province or on a railway. Finally, remove all cubes. Okay, so I'm going to finally get to remove some stuff. So, like, for example, this is overkill, and I want to get one back in Bombay and one back in Delhi because I don't want to lose control over those places. And in fact, maybe the one in Bombay I'm going to put in Bihar because we know we need a red there. So the reds are stretched thin, but that's sort of what I'm trying to do, right? Make sure I have red and white mixed everywhere. And then I think I have to pay 2 for every red that's out there. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I'm already starting with a lot less money than last time. I'm down to 20. And see, that's when I really could use those money events. All right. And then any provinces that don't have Raj control, I have to remove all but 1 troop. But that's not an issue. We're fine. Congress. So this is where we do the NPC stuff. Okay. So Congress. Get Gandhi to the space with the most support. 2 pop first. So right now, that would be West Bengal. So Gandhi comes to West Bengal. Okay. 2 activists to each 2 pop space, non-Muslim first. We already know that they're all going to be flipped over. Okay, so as you can see, he only has 3 activists on the board. And in non-Muslim, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 of them out there. So we're going to just roll a die, and we'll do 2 for as much as we can. So 5, 4 is here, and then 5, and then 6. 6, 1 is Bombay. So 2 of them are going to go to Bombay. And then the last one is 6, 6. So that would be Madras. And then all this stuff. But it says non-Muslim first. So United Provinces. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do for them. And there's not enough extra to distribute anywhere. So now the Muslim League. Get activists so that Muslim League pieces exceed Congress pieces in all 2-pop Muslim spaces. So Gandhi does count as a piece. So they're going to make sure they have 2 there. And let me just grab everything else. Remember, they're all moving. So we're redistributing everything. Okay. Okay, 2 activists to each 2-pop Muslim space, most support first. Well, we already have 2 there. 2 there. We're going to be able to go to every 2-pop space. That's the key thing. So then 1 activist to each 1-pop space. So this is how they're going to start scoring some points now. Because you can see here they're going into... So 1 activist into 1-pop spaces, which includes the cities. But now they're going to get into... So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 of them are going to go into these random spaces. So let's roll. 2, 2. 2 means Assam. So 1's going to go in Assam. 1, 6 is Punjab, and then it's going to go all the way through the 2s, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and then back to 1. So Baluchistan. And unless I roll something funny, it's going to be just whatever the next one is, which is Actually, it would have been Sind, but Sind and Baluchistan. So Sind gets the last one. So they now have activists in places that are one population. So they're finally where I think they should have been, right? Because they actually could have created opposition there and scored some points. So the Muslim state, even though they have a really low score right now, they're in a good spot. Okay, guerrillas. Keep one guerrilla in each space with unrest or a revolutionary base. Move guerrillas only once. So I'm taking these two, this, all these. All right, so then there's one there. Okay, it says, get one guerrilla to each space with unrest and no Raj control. That's this one, which we already did. Get one guerrilla to each space with a revolutionary base. Done. Get 3 guerrillas to 2 pop spaces without unrest. Most support first. 3. 3. 3. Now what I think it may have been telling me is when it said get one, that's in addition to the one that was already there. So I'm going to assume that that's true because they're really leaving their bases and stuff vulnerable. So I'm going to roll to see which of these 2 pop spaces they're going to go to. And actually there's probably it says most support first. They're all equal support. So let's just roll. A 2-5 means they're going to Bengal. That's an unrest space. So yeah. So if I keep going from there, I go to 3, then I go to 4. It's going to be Bombay Presidency. So for sure 3 of them are going to be there. I'm going to take these 3, and it said 1 to unrest spaces, and then this one was always supposed to have 1, or like that, okay? And then these 3, 2 of them are going to go because of the bases that's here, and then I have 1 more, right? It said keep 1 on each space with an unrest or base. This one didn't have any. That's the reason why he only has 1 and that one has 2. But this one is extra, and yeah, I got to roll. So 1-6 puts us in Punjab. So there it goes. Okay, so I think we did that good enough for government work. So now we take our AI cards, which are growing on me, by the way. I criticized this game a bit in those earlier videos. I'm not criticizing it as much now. I actually think this one was really well done. And, you know, at first I didn't care for it, but I'm rather enjoying it right now. I still miss the combat. I've been ruined forever by, because Pendragon was the very first coin game I ever played, and everything else has been a disappointment. But these Arjuna cards plus that player aid that gives the priorities are excellent. I don't feel like I'm going to work now to run this AI. I actually feel like it's manageable. I mean, it's no worse than just playing a DVG game. Well, DVG games are a little lighter, but it's not hard. I mean, heck, it's less fiddly than Sword and Sorcery for sure. I would say it's the same level as maybe Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven's setup is bad, but once you set it up, the gameplay is not bad at all. Yeah, you know, it just falls into that bucket. Okay, so we're doing the reset now, I believe. Remove all protest and strike markers from the map and flip all activists to inactive. That part we understand. So all protest markers go back. I'm going to keep this one out because I know they're putting one out. Remove one unrest marker from each space without guerrillas. That's not the case here because there was enough guerrillas to go out. Flip all guerrillas underground. Reset restraint and unity number of campaign. So that's 2 now. So the unity actually dropped to 2. All factions eligible. Play the next card. Hold on a second. It does say non-player Congress. Place 1 protest marker in a space with Congress activists using place protests. That is part of the reset for a non-player. And I thought for sure we got to remove one. Remove 1 unrest marker from each space without guerrillas. I thought for sure we got to remove 1. May move other guerrillas to non-railway spaces with no Raj control. Oh, they're not allowed to go anywhere where there's Raj control. That changes things. Right here it says, get 1 guerrilla to each space with unrest and no Raj control. 1 guerrilla to every revolutionary base. 2 pop spaces without unrest, most support first. But that's no Raj control. Because of the, okay, so we got a couple fixings to do. First of all, this one doesn't go there. These 2 can't go there. They have to get out of there, and these 3 don't go there. So they can't go to Punjab either. So they have nowhere to go. And every one of those unrest markers are going to go away. So this is destroyed, that's destroyed. So 2 unrest markers go away. That's minus 4 points for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy cow. So we got to figure out where they're going to put their pieces, though. Get 1 guerrilla to each space with unrest and no Raj control. Okay, we did that. 1 to each space with a revolutionary base. We did that. In fact, we did 2 of them. And then 1 stayed, and then 1 went to the unrest, and then 2 went because of this. So now we got a whole bunch extra. 3 guerrillas to 2 pop spaces without unrest. Most support first. The problem is we have control over every 2 pop spaces, and it does say to not with no Raj control as part of the redeploy. Now maybe it's letting the AIs cheat and put them there anyways. Move guerrillas as outlined below and keep other guerrillas in their current spaces. From spaces with the most guerrillas, random if more than 1. Keep 1 guerrilla in each space with move guerrillas only once. Oh, come on. So here's the deal. If you're in a multiplayer game, you would never be able to move guerrillas to a place that has Raj control. The issue is here. It says no Raj control for number 1, but for number 3, it doesn't mention anything about Raj control. So that's the part I'm hung up on. So I'm going to go check real quick. Because obviously the non-player gets to do things a little different. This might be part of their Cheaty McCheaterson. Here you go. Campaign rounds, reset phase. And of course, this is the one thing GMT does that they shouldn't do. The rulebook says word for word exactly what we see on this player aid, which I guess I'm okay with, except I need clarification, and it's not clarifying it for me. Like, I was hoping that maybe the rulebook would have more, like explaining that, yeah, you can do this. I'm going to play it where they can go to the 2 pop spaces, even though we have control. So I'm going to put 3 here, because that was the first one we drew. And then the second one gets 3, and that would be the United Provinces. And then the third one is Punjab. Okay, so Bihar would have none, and then East Bengal has none. I think that's a fair way to do it. It does not say Raj control, so I'm going to let them do that. And that does allow us to destroy some unrest markers. So we destroyed one in Bihar and one in East Bengal, or West Bengal. It does not say, because it says move them in spaces without unrest. So that's what we did. Okay. So the one thing that the NPCs do that a multiplayer game doesn't do is they get to place a protest. So that we're going to do right now. So no active opposition, 2 pop, non-Muslim space. That should be, it's either going to be Bombay Presidency or United Province. So let's roll. I rolled a 6. I keep rolling. It keeps doing this. Ah, there we go, finally. A 6-2 is what I rolled. So that would be, it's somewhere down south. Hyderabad. So that would be 4, 5. Oh, I can let you look at it. This is where they want to go, but we started here, 6-2. So it goes all the way there, then it goes to 1. Now remember, they're doing non-province or non-Muslim, so it's going to eventually get to United Provinces. So that's where the protest marker is going to go. So it goes here, and then this flips. Like so. Okay, that is the end of the second campaign. I don't know, I have other things I need to do, not YouTube-wise, but I might continue this game. I'm definitely learning a lot of lessons, especially as the Raj player. The railroad thing I'm not as afraid about, unless I'm getting the rules wrong and I'm just doing railroads wrong. To be quite honest, getting the 40 resources for the railroads, it's not the end of the world if you let the Raj do that. Yeah, it gives them enough money to do all the ruthless things they want to do, but I'm nowhere near winning this game. So the Raj player is pretty much struggling even without their railroads being taken away from them. As for everything else, obviously distributing the troops with the these red troops with the white sepoys was a big mistake of mine, and I feel like I'm like a campaign behind. Like, if you look at the AI, the Muslim player, they're losing the game right now, but this campaign positioned them, because they have so many pieces on the board, that now they're going to be able to start generating some opposition in those 1 population spaces. And I'm so busy trying to get the 2 population spaces under control, I don't have enough troops to take all of India, right? So those 1 pop spaces are now becoming valuable to him, and he's going to be able to get some points, some cheap points, and not lose them. And so I think he's positioned to do really well. But it took a whole campaign for him to sacrifice, and now he's positioned for this campaign to do well. Well, I feel like I'm a whole campaign behind, because we finished that first campaign. I failed to realize I need the red and white troops to be together. So I basically, I'm starting the game from there. That's what it feels like. And had I been known better, I would have already had the red and white troops. I already had a lot of these 2 province places under control and in support of me, or 2 population, I mean. And now, I'm finishing, we just finished the 2nd campaign, but I'm playing as if I just finished the 1st one. So I feel like I'm behind. To be quite honest, the Raj is probably the least fun to play. I think being the revolutionaries is interesting. I think it would be challenging to be them because obviously you want to get unrest markers out. But if you're playing as them, you're going to have money and resources to limit you, which I think is going to be hard. I actually think playing as Gandhi would be quite fun. I think playing as the Muslims is also quite fun because your part of the board gets reduced to just the green. The green spaces are all you care about. And I would be deploying and doing things like mad to get all these pieces out. And I just don't think the Raj would be able to keep up with me. I think, the Muslim player is something you have to keep in check. And even the revolutionary player and the other ones have to keep them in check because they could really run away with it. And it reminds me a lot of the Saxons in the Pendragon game. But anyways, I even think that they're fun because they're limited. And if you're a new player, or if you're a new player joining a multiplayer game where the other players are experienced, be the Muslim faction. Because see the rest of the board? You don't care about the rest of the board. All you care about are those few spaces up there and these spaces over here, and 3 of which are 2 pop spaces. It's pretty slick, and I think that limited exposure is going to help you. But yeah, I think Gandhi would be the most fun, just because you have Gandhi himself, who's able to go around and cause trouble. But anyways, yeah, having fun. This is definitely my last game for the night, and I probably won't be uploading these until tomorrow. So thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome and stay healthy and safe.